Colorado's newest district needs a House leader.
I would be the first Latina elected to Congress from Colorado.
Their concerns, whether it's Hispanic or non-Hispanic, are still the same.
Tonight we're going deeper, sitting down with both candidates hoping to represent the 8th Congressional District.
We have a spending problem. We need to stop spending.
Nobody wants the government really meddling with their health care decisions.
Questions in Aurora tonight over the search for the next chief of police. City council leaders now meeting behind closed doors.
The Raiders have beaten the Broncos 32-23.
The losses keep coming for the Broncos.
So the Denver Broncos will fall to 2-2.
One of the team's top running backs is now out for the season.
Losing Javonte is so unfortunate, a dynamic player in this league.
And first tonight, a very ominous looking downtown Denver. This is a live look over the Mile High City where storms are now rolling through. So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson.
So Mike, I just looked out the window. It's really starting to pick up out there.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad, but it's not really as bad as it looks. Scattered showers and thunderstorms coming across the Front Range right now. Some snow up in the mountains above 11,000 feet. And right there's the cell. It's about over the Thornton area, Commerce City. It's going to drive right on east across northern Aurora, and that's where the heaviest moisture is going to move through. Nothing severe at the moment, gusts to about 45 miles per hour, and this is what it looks like from our camera up in Westminster, starting to see the backside of that storm. Might slow some folks down a bit on the drive home, and a few spots might pick up a quick quarter-inch of rain. Full details in about 15 minutes.
All right, thank you, Mike. And our lead story tonight, the race for Colorado's brand new congressional district, District 8.
It's also considered to be one of the most competitive districts with a high number of unaffiliated voters and the largest Latino population in our state. So to give you some context here, Colorado's 8th Congressional District was created because of Colorado's growing population. The entire redistricting process to set up the boundaries for District 8 took about 3 years to become a reality.
So this new district stretches from North Denver up into Greeley. It includes parts of Weld, Adams, and Larimer counties. According to the 2020 census, District 8 is 40% Latino. That is the largest percentage of any of our congressional districts. So now to the two candidates vying to be the first to represent the 8th.
And they are Republican State Senator Barbara Kirkmeyer and Democratic State Representative Yadira Caraveo. And if elected, Caraveo would be the first Latina elected to Congress from Colorado.
And today, Denver 7's Megan Lopez sat down with both, going in depth on what they hope to accomplish.
We're sitting here with State Representative Yadira Caraveo. She is a candidate for the 8th Congressional District. Barb Kirkmeyer running for Congressional District 8.
First, we want to know what they bring to Congress as a freshman lawmaker in a new district.
I'm a fourth-generation Coloradoan, grew up on a dairy farm, come from some pretty modest background. So having that voice for those Coloradoans, those people who work in that industry, having that voice in Washington, D.C., I think would be huge.
It would be a new voice for Colorado. I would be the first Latina elected to Congress from Colorado. Also the first doctor from Colorado.
You're representing, we were talking about the 8th Congressional District, one of the largest populations of Hispanic people that we've seen in any district. So what would you do, to make sure that you are not only listening to their voice now during the campaign season, but bringing that voice to Congress?
I grew up in an immigrant family. I've been part of the Latino community here from the moment that I was born in Denver. It's a community that I have been fighting for a very long time. And that I will continue to fight for as their Congresswoman.
I'm going to treat them the same way I treat everyone else in the district. Their concerns, whether it's Hispanic or non-Hispanic, are still the same. It's about inflation. It's about how much does it cost me to fill up my gas tank.
On abortion, neither candidate says they support an all-out ban, but they couldn't be more different.
What I support is a woman's ability to have those discussions, to make those decisions with her family, with her healthcare provider, without the interference of government.
I am in support of a 15-week ban. So after 15 weeks, that abortion would be banned.
Are there any exceptions when it comes to after that 15 weeks, if it came to, an unfortunate choice between, the mother and the baby?
Absolutely.
On the economy, Kirkmeyer blames Democrats for overspending the last 2 years.
We have a spending problem. We need to stop spending.
We also pressed her on Republican spending.
So President Trump added nearly $7.8 trillion to the national debt during his time in office. It's nearly twice as much as what Americans owe on student loans, on cars, on every major debt except for mortgages. Are you willing to take on your Republican cohorts to make sure that spending is going the way that you think it should be going?
Absolutely. So, and let me just be clear also on this. So the Republicans in Congress have made a pledge. I'm supporting that commitment to America. It's about economic freedom. It's about making sure, again, that we balance our budget, that we cut spending, that we quit putting such huge debt. Not another trillion here or another trillion there.
Republicans, meanwhile, have criticized Democrats for major spending and the Inflation Reduction Act. We asked Caraveo to go on the record about supporting that measure.
I think there were a lot of really great parts of the Inflation Reduction Act, in particular the focus on costs for families. You know, one with the energy issues that it focused on, making sure that we're lowering the cost of energy. The issues, the parts of the bill that dealt with healthcare in particular were huge.
Yadira Caraveo. Barb Kirkmeyer, thank you so much for joining us.
Megan also went digging for answers from both candidates on topics like energy production and oil and gas. And you can watch her full interviews with Kirkmeyer and Caraveo right now on Denver7.com.
And currently, Kirkmeyer slightly favored to win the 8th. And just before airtime, I checked the most recent polling from the poll analysis group 538. Now, they have a model that simulates the midterm election 40,000 times to see which candidate wins most often. Kirkmeyer wins 68% of the time, Caraveo 32% of the time. Now, midterm ballots will start going out in a couple of weeks. You should have already gotten your blue book in the mail, but if not, reach out to the Secretary of State's office.
Aurora's search for a new police chief isn't going smoothly.
City council leaders are now meeting to go over the selection process and also examine just how to proceed with these 2 candidates still in the running.
And the decision comes after multiple city leaders have spoken out against the process since the candidates were first announced last month. Denver 7's Rob Harris is joining us live from Aurora.
Rob, so where do we go from here in this search?
Well, that's the big question, Shannon. What we know is that city leaders are having a closed-door meeting right now, actually, to discuss this search for a police chief. We don't know if an announcement is going to come tonight, but there is a public meeting we're going to be watching for here in about a half hour to keep an eye on for a possible announcement on that tonight. But members of the Aurora Police Oversight Task Force have been pushing for the city to basically go back to square one on this entire selection process and give them a seat at the table in choosing and vetting the candidates. The current 2 finalists were chosen after an outside firm from California conducted a nationwide search, and the task force feels the community has been shut out of the process.
Aurora's been through a lot, and Aurora deserves a lot. And I believe that we have to have the cream of the crop. We have to have the best of the best supply. So if we have to go nationwide, if you have to send a community member nationwide to try to recruit, you know, that's an option. We won't settle for less.
So this is a closed-door meeting discussion among city leaders. It's likely wrapping up as we speak. Again, we don't know yet if we're going to get an announcement on their decision-making tonight, but we'll be watching for that. What we do know is that both of the finalists for police chief interviewed with the mayor and with city council members as of last week. Ann?
All right, Rob Harris, thank you for that. We will continue to follow this throughout the evening. And Aurora isn't the only police department in Colorado looking for a new police chief. I did some digging, found at least 5 police departments in the state are looking for a new leader right now, and they include Loveland, Lakewood, Commerce City, Eagle, and Grand Junction. In Lakewood, the department estimates their new chief of police will earn anywhere from $180,000 to $215,000 a year. And just last week in Loveland, they announced 4 finalists for police chief there, and those candidates will meet with the public next week, and the city is hoping to announce a finalist later on this fall. And now to the Broncos, and one of the top running backs now out for the season.
Javonte Williams out with a torn ACL, and he's not the only player now dealing with injuries after yesterday's loss to the Raiders. Here with more on that, Denver 7 Sports Director Lionel Bienvenu.
And Lionel, this just is tough.
It
tough
was
situation.
A tough Sunday, guys.
Yeah.
The Broncos can't seem to get a break. It's painful. Yesterday in Vegas, a loss to the 0-3 Raiders, a loss to Josh McDaniels, and then you lose 2 of your best players to knee injuries. This is not Victory Monday or Orange Monday. This is Black and Blue Monday. Javonte Williams was injured on his first carry in the second half. Torn ACL and LCL and other damage as well. Just terrible. He tried to walk off, as you could see, and then his knee buckled and he went down and he's out for the season. That means Melvin Gordon will start to get most of the action Thursday night against the Colts. Gordon fumbled yesterday again, and the Raiders returned it for the go-ahead touchdown. And then there's Randy Gregory, hurt his knee as well. He'll have a scope to determine just how serious that is. He's going to miss anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. Coach Nathaniel Hackett said today it's brutal, but they got a game to play in 3 days, and you got to deal with it.
Both those guys are obviously very important to our team. Losing Javonte is so unfortunate. You know, a dynamic player in this league. Randy, same thing. You know, having him to have to miss some time right now is hard because he's been a great force on the team. But hey, so somebody's got to step up. And I think that, with this whole team, I think they're excited, for that opportunity. And we're glad that it comes very soon instead of having to wait longer to be able to get out there and go play.
I mean, this injury report today is mind-boggling. Even Russell Wilson there at the bottom is on the list. He's got a right shoulder injury, but Hackett said today Russ is going to play on Thursday. And yeah, Thursday night, primetime football right here on Denver 7. Pre-game coverage, 5 o'clock. Kickoff just after 6, and the big post-game show right after. Broncos-Colts on Denver 7 Thursday night.
She created schools and orphanages and hospitals, these wonderful facilities and organizations to help the poor and help immigrants.
Honoring Mother Cabrini during one of Colorado's newest holidays.
A shrine dedicated to Francis Xavier Cabrini, getting a $5.2 million upgrade.
A great humanitarian woman that served a lot of people in Colorado and across the country and across the world.
70s and 80s hard to beat. I'll let you know how long this great streak of weather will last.